Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating intersection between your personal traits and professional strategy. We're going to look at how a specific astrological alignment, Venus in the second house, is secretly the ultimate blueprint for thriving in luxury and creative careers. So, if you've ever felt like your deep love for beautiful things, comfy environments, and harmonious relationships was just, a personal quirk, well, think again.
Can your love for luxury actually be your greatest career asset? For a lot of people with this placement, the answer is a massive, resounding yes. Society sometimes tells us that a drive for aesthetics or comfort is just frivolous or maybe even superficial. But what if those natural inclinations toward beauty and harmony aren't distractions at all? What if they're actually powerful, innate professional tools just waiting to be tapped into?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Venus Advantage, Understanding the Placement.
To really get a grip on this advantage, we've got to look at two totally distinct forces. First up, the second house. This governs the super practical pillars of life, right? Wealth, speech, family, values, possessions, and security. Then, on the other side, we have the planet Venus, ruling over love, luxury, attraction, relationships, art, beauty, and pleasure. So, when you smash together the second house's intense focus on material wealth and security with Venus's domain of art and luxury, you get this incredibly unique, deeply magnetic persona.
This mashup creates a super deep connection between beauty, comfort, love, money, and self-worth. For folks with this placement, your emotional piece is quite literally wired directly to your material stability and your love for softness and comfort. You just naturally seek out harmony and pleasure. It's exactly why you might genuinely feel stressed out if your home office isn't aesthetically pleasing, or why you just instinctively understand the value of a high-end luxury experience. It's this holistic, all-encompassing need for ease and aesthetic fulfillment.
Moving on to Section 2. Your Professional Superpowers. Reframing softness as strength.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it completely reframes qualities we usually think of as passive, turning them into incredibly lucrative business skills. With Venus in the second house, your natural charm isn't just about being a nice person to be around, it's a legitimate networking superpower. The data actually shows this translates to a natural ability to attract financial support, high-value clients, and even gifts through that charm and creative talent. Basically, your softness is a powerful magnet for real-world opportunity and serious financial success.
Our source material highlights something I find absolutely fascinating. Speech tends to feel soft, attractive, persuasive, or emotionally pleasant. And let me tell you, in the corporate world, this emotionally pleasant communication style is invaluable. It lets you navigate complex professional networks, build consensus, and negotiate high-stakes deals almost effortlessly, all while making literally everyone in the room feel valued. Having soft speech definitely doesn't mean being a pushover. It means communication is your absolute ultimate personal strength.
And hey, this extends way beyond just professional networking. Even your romantic or personal relationships often end up directly improving your financial stability. It's like these connections act as bridges, introducing new professional opportunities that are totally linked to enhancing your comfort and lifestyle. By just staying true to your personal values of harmony and quality, you naturally curate a network that elevates your long-term wealth and your professional standing.
Section 3. Thriving in Creative Careers, where your innate gifts shine.
When we look at high-potential industries for this placement, a really beautiful narrative emerges. In music, media, and entertainment, your expressive, soft speech just naturally thrives. But let's look at some real-world applications of this. Imagine 3 successful career pivots. First, picture a rigid corporate accountant pivoting into high-end interior design, finally getting to leverage their incredible eye for aesthetics and visually pleasing surroundings. Second, think of a burnt-out manager transitioning into the fashion industry, where their innate understanding of luxury becomes a massive asset. And third, a pivot into the beauty industry, where we constantly see stories of people building incredibly lucrative brands simply by trusting their natural instinct for what makes other people feel beautiful, comfortable, and valued.
But you might be wondering, where do all these deep-seated drives actually come from? Well, the foundation for pursuing these creative and luxurious career paths is often heavily shaped by your family environment. That's where your early ideas about love, security, and relationship patterns first take root. By understanding these roots, you can consciously define exactly how your personal values will shape your long-term wealth and professional self-worth moving forward.
Section 4. The Material Trap. Navigating the Pitfalls of Luxury.
And this brilliantly illustrates the flip side. When your nature is just hardwired for luxury and harmony, your spending habits can easily become way too indulgent across areas like pleasure, beauty, comfort, and travel for emotional satisfaction. Because these things literally feed your soul, it is incredibly easy to over-leverage your finances trying to maintain a standard of comfort you feel you absolutely need. The actionable advice here? Create a dedicated aesthetic budget. Maintain your financial balance by strategically planning for luxury rather than just impulsively spending to soothe emotional stress.
Which brings us right to the core definition of the material trap. This happens when your self-esteem becomes dangerously connected to your external appearance, your financial status, romantic attention, or social admiration. I'll just be blunt with you here. When your professional self-worth is dictated entirely by how much you own or how much people admire your aesthetic, you are standing on very fragile ground. It's an absolutely critical vulnerability for anyone with this placement. It's also super important to acknowledge why this trap actually happens in the first place. Over time, a really profound, deep emotional attachment to comfort, relationships, and material security naturally develops. Because you feel so deeply connected to these things, losing them feels like a direct hit to your personal security. This makes the material trap incredibly easy to fall into. But remember, the goal here isn't to stop loving comfort. It's just to make sure your professional identity and self-worth aren't entirely anchored to it.
Section 5. Mastering True Self-Worth. Achieving Unshakable Emotional Balance.
Let's move to Lethos and see how this builds a structured path to maturity. It starts by simply recognizing that heavy gravitational pull toward indulgent spending habits. Then comes the real work in step 2, actively detaching your self-worth from your external appearance and social validation. As you achieve that, you can start cultivating genuinely refined taste alongside a deep, unshakable emotional balance. And this ultimately leads to securing stable, long-term wealth that is entirely independent of fleeting romantic attention or societal status.
So the crucial point is this. The ultimate sign of maturity is the ability to enjoy a beautiful life without constantly chasing validation through physical possessions. True mastery for this Venus placement means you can utilize your natural charm, you could absolutely crush it in high-end design or beauty, and you can appreciate the absolute finest things in life. But your inner value and self-worth remain completely independent of your immediate material circumstances, your societal status, or romantic attention. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pivotal question to reflect on. Are you using your natural charm to chase validation or to build a life of true, unshakable value? Your innate Venus traits are a massive advantage, for sure. They can bring immense success in creative fields, amazing financial abundance, and a truly beautiful life. But at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you to ensure those gifts drive you toward profound, mature, professional self-worth, rather than just temporary social admiration. Take that thought with you, and thank you so much for joining me today.